You're kind of come back to London. I mean, we've sort of talked about your travelling. I was looking at your website earlier on. Your air miles must be racking up something amazing because you're in so many different places.
Yeah.
Sort of doing this tour. What's the one that you're coming back to do in London?
I'm coming in September to do a very special show. This show, I compose the music. For 17 years now, I compose all kinds of different projects. And that's another thing, that a complete different world that I love to live in, a world of isolation, a world in my little room on the 10th floor in New York, where I see the skyline and I hear the sirens, and I go into my little zone and I create music, and I write it on the piano. And this one is the project Nine Secrets. It's based on the book Accra, written by Paulo Coelho. Paulo Coelho is famous through The Alchemist. His most famous book is The Alchemist. A very inspiring, kind of almost a spiritual book without the religion in it, but a soul-searching book about alternatives in life, alternative understanding of life, chapters you go through, and kind of like finding peace in troubled situations. And I read this book. I was on tour in Australia, and I thought this book was amazing. It just said a bunch of things in life that I was troubled by, relationship and just pressure you go through, and heartache. It put it into perspective and gave you this kind of redemption of relativity. And this book was so inspiring. I told my musicians, guys, you have to read this book. And after all, I was in Brazil a month later, and I met a Brazilian journalist, because Paulo Coelho is Brazilian. And I said, I really love the books of your Paulo Coelho. And he said, oh, he's a good old friend of mine. I'm going to tell him you like his books. Next, I had an email from Paulo Coelho, and we started chatting over the internet. And then I visited him in Geneva, and I said, I want to do a music project based on this book. I want to take 9 chapters of life about love, friendship, success, about movement and perpetual change in life and the openness to it, about important subjects of life that you have to find resolutions with. And I did, and I put it into a context of world music. I collaborated with fantastic musicians from Morocco and Israel and Egypt. And this is kind of a journey through your soul. It's like a bit like the book The Alchemist, or like Siddhartha from Hermann Hesse. One of these few books that you just have to read in life to just, find sleep at night. And so I did. I did it, and then we brought it out in the festival in Germany, in the Ruhr Festival, International Festival. And Volker Schlöndorff, the movie maker, who did the Tin Drum, created this cinematic backdrop of this Moroccan landscape and the ruins through a 24-hour time frame, and you could put it together in 1 hour and a half of the time of the show. It's just super inspiring, super beautiful. The musicians, 6 musicians, exotic musicians, are fantastic. And I just go through these incredible words of Paulo Coelho, most of it in English. And it's just, for me also like an adventure and a most inspiring musical situation. A lot of improvisation in that night with the musicians and trading back and forth. And yes, jewels of philosophy.
And is this the one you did at Carnegie Hall?
No, I did this in New York in Symphony Space.
Right.
Symphony Space, we performed last May. And we performed it in most beautiful, special places on this earth. In the Ravello Festival in Italy, out on the ocean. And in Madrid, in the auditorium, and in the old opera house. And it is a very special project. And I'm so happy to bring it to London.
The way you talk about it, you can just visualize it so beautifully. It's going to be an amazing
it's
show.
Something different different than anything you've ever seen. It's not musical. It's not rock music. It's not pop music. It's like in between everything. But it's just so inspiring, and the words are so profound. It's very dense, and in the context and what you think while you watch it. It gives you a lot of inspirations for days and days and days after that.
How long did it take to write it?
Only like 5 months.
Wow.
5 months, and then I recorded it in New York, and then we started rehearsing for the stage version.
So when you're sat in your 10th floor with all the sirens going off, do you go into your own little world, or do you use that as almost distraction just to try and...
Actually, I don't hear many sirens. 10th floor, you're kind of above the noise in New York City, and it's actually very quiet. I have a little roof, a terrace, and I planted lots and lots of trees, and I call it my little Tuscany in the middle of Manhattan. Actually, what I wanted to say, it's like my safe haven. I'm not exposed to the noises, but still knowing that it's all around, that life goes on all around you, and the urgency of life goes on all around you, but I'm really in a zone of silence by myself.
I've got to say, one of my favourite places on earth is actually in the bar that's above the Met, the Metropolitan Museum, because you've got...
That's on the Upper East Side.
Yeah. And you're looking right across Central Park, and you can see the skyline, but you're right, it's strangely quiet.
Yeah, it is. You're above the noise. Yeah, I can see the Central Park on the left, Museum of Natural History, Riverside on the right, and I do see the incredible skyline. I have an incredible view because I'm surrounded by brownstones. You know, the little houses. Woody Allen, all these movies are playing with these little houses with this staircases in front, and this is the only higher pre-war apartment building, and I have an incredible view, and the sky turning red at night, you know, like on the sunset. It's just so beautiful. I'm so happy I have this incredible apartment.
I'm insanely jealous right now. Although in fairness, we are looking out across the skyline of London.
Yes.
You can't see the
sun. And it's a blue sky, and it's
a
beautiful weather. I am in shock. This is like, this is a great London, and you know, without the rain, and you can actually see far. It's beautiful.
You can actually see, if you just look up that way there, you can actually see Alexandra Palace, which was where the first ever TV broadcast was done.
Oh, where is that?
It's on the top of the hill, just up in the far distance there. It's the highest point in London, Alexandra Palace, which is why they built the mast up there.
Oh,
and that's no longer in use, but absolutely great views across London. So if you get time, next time pop up there.
But I have so many memories. Or even this part here where we're sitting in the streets, walking with my kids at the time when 20 years ago, and I lived in London also in 1989 and 1990 when I was collaborating with Michael Nyman on the songbook that he wrote for me, and I was in the Peter Greenaway movie, Prosperous Books. I remember very well. I lived in Kensington at the time, a little tiny apartment, but I was traveling a lot, and I was burgled many times.
Wow.
Yeah, you have like a culture of burglary here, right?
I think we did. It's not as bad
now. They organize burglaries
because
they want to just redesign their houses, right?
Yeah.
With the insurance company.
It is a little bit.
I didn't. I was vandalized. I came back from Moscow, and I'm talking 1990, after the fall of the war in Moscow. They had these little Eastern cars and foreign. The black market was just. It was like the beginning of an open, Russia. And I came back from 2 months shooting, and I shot a movie there for 2 months. It was incredible. I came back and I tried to open my house at the door. And I couldn't. It was vandalized. Everything was everywhere. It was horrible. They had eaten all the food out of my refrigerator, drank the champagne, the curtains were down. They had lived and vandalized my house. Oh. Yeah, it was horrible.
Well, I
needed a friend at that time.
Where were you? If only I'd have known.
You were in kindergarten.
I was in Wales.
Where were you?
I was probably in school in Wales at the time, yeah, sorry. If only I'd known, I would have made my way up here for you. But hopefully you'll have a better experience of London next time you come when you do this show.